What's better than $2 Tuesday at Sports Memo? How about Freebie Friday? We can't go any lower than free, and each and every Friday we'll hand select a best bet from one of the hottest handicappers on the site and give it out for free. All you have to do is each and every Friday, head over to sportsmemo.com. The Freebie Friday will be listed on the homepage, and you'll be just a click away from a free bet.
Welcome into First Pitch for Thursday, June 10th. We got 4 games on tonight's slate. Best bets at the end. Marco D'Angelo, Dave Koken from WagerTalk.com joining me and breaking down these games, guys. So a lot of baseball knowledge here. Hopefully get you on some right side of these games tonight. First up here, Marco D'Angelo from WagerTalk. Check him out. Experts page, Marco D'Angelo. Marco, welcome in. Happy Thursday morning to you.
Glad to be here, Drew. Looking forward to it. Got some good games to talk about today, and let's see if we can get some winners on the card.
Absolutely. And next, certainly not least, Dave Koken here, also at WagerTalk.com. Dave, happy Thursday morning to you.
Thanks, Drew. What was this banter taking place before I joined the show today regarding a 35-1 shot that won, Marco?
No, did not win. Finished 4th, but they were giving me some grief because I didn't say the horse was racing, and there's a reason. That's why the horse was 35-1. I didn't think we could win today. We were up in class, but I'll take the 4th place.
Was this one of your horses?
Yes, one of my horses.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear it finished 4th.
I'll take the check, Dave. I didn't think I was going to get anything in the class we were in today.
Which Sin City was this?
This one actually wasn't a Sin City. This is one we bought at the end of its 2-year-old season, so it was already named. It's Southwind Aussie, and she went out of non-winners of 2 last week and had to move up in class to non-winners of 3. And the race went 3 seconds faster than she ever went before. So the fact that she got a check, I'm very happy.
There you go. So she gets to eat tonight. Okay, good.
So Marco, you brought up earlier, she's paid her bills. How often is that for horse races? When you own a horse, is it usually a money pit, or actually can you make money in the end?
Well, the joke is, if you want to become a millionaire in horse racing, start with $2 million, and then you'll be a millionaire.
I'm picking up what you're laying down there, Marco. So, hey, good stuff there, though. It must be fun to own a horse. Hopefully one day, anyway. But hopefully not to throw down a whole $1 million to become a millionaire. But I like that joke there, Marco. Guys, let's get after the games today. We actually got a good slate, a lot of big market teams here. Marco, first up, we get the Houston Astros at the Boston Red Sox. This is actually my best bet, and actually Dave and I lining up here in some form or fashion, little different ways of going at it. But we got 9 being the total. Looks like minus 105 towards the Red Sox right now. So the Houston Astros have taken a little money throughout the morning here. But heading to Fenway here, Marco, looks like 62 degrees, 7:10 Eastern first pitch. You liking anything here, Astros and Red Sox?
Well, if you look at current form of pitchers in this one, it kind of looks like a pitching mismatch because Zach Greinke's been pitching super. And then you look at, when look at his 6 road starts, he's been almost untouchable. An ERA of 1.50, but even more impressive is his whip, 0.73. If you're not putting any base runners on, it's kind of hard to score runs against the pitcher. Flip side to that is you look at Rodriguez, and he's basically been a piñata in his last 4 games. 18 runs in 19 innings of work. That's never a good equation for any pitcher. But this is one thing about when I look at Rodriguez, and this is a question when Dave comes on that he can answer. I've never seen a pitcher that has more mediocre stats than Rodriguez, yet somehow when he's on the mound, Boston seems to win for him. If you look at him in his career, when he pitches at night, his team is 62-28 in his starts. Now, with the current form, I can't jump on him tonight. So I'm not going to take the Red Sox here because they find a way to win with him. But what I will do is if there was ever a game that screamed first 5 innings where you go starting pitcher versus starting pitcher, this would be it. And Greinke has a huge edge over Rodriguez in current form. So for me, it's Astros first 5 or pass the game.
All right. And Dave, do you want to hit this now or wait until best bets?
No, I'll talk about it now. First of all, as far as that Eduardo Rodriguez goes, look, if you're pitching for the Red Sox in most seasons, all you want to do is keep the team in the game. They generally got a really good offense. Now, last year was an exception, but Erod didn't pitch last year because he had COVID and he had some issues after that. So he didn't pitch at all last year, so it didn't really figure. But even this season, and he has not pitched well, they're 6-5 when he starts, including 2-1 at home. That's a very odd breakdown. He's had 8 road starts and only 3 at Fenway Park. Red Sox offense is pretty good. So, the job for Eduardo Rodriguez is to go out there and give him 6 innings, give up 2 or 3 runs, and leave it to the offense. We'll see if he can do that here. That'll be a challenge against this Houston offense, which is, their numbers are absurd. On the road against lefties for the season, they've got a weighted runs created plus of 143. 100 is average. They're at 143. Over the last 7 days, the WRC plus is 165. That's insane. And this team is killing the baseball right now. And then you look at Zach Greinke, and the Astros have won 5 of his 6 starts on the road. They're 10-3 overall when he starts. He's been much better on the road than at home. Game score average for Greinke on the road is 68, which is outstanding. It's only 56 overall, so he's had some problems at home. And Greinke on the season, is this? It's on the road. Excuse me. For the season on the road, opposing hitters are 467 OPS, which is just unbelievably low. So the pitching edge is clear, and so is the offensive edge. The bullpen does favor Boston, so to me, it's a first 5 play. I like the Astros here. It almost looks trappy at the price considering the way they're playing right now. The Astros probably ought to be favored in this game, so I'm a little bit dubious about where the line is. But I bet the Astros first 5 in this game. I think it's a good play.
All right, Dave. Yeah, maybe a little wrong team favored there. Hit it again in best bets. But next game up here, Dave, heading to Chicago, the Windy City, the host of the Toronto Blue Jays and Chicago White Sox tonight. 8:10 Eastern, first pitch, 73 degrees slated here in Chicago. We get Ryu, the 34-year-old South Korean, on the hill. Last time he was bombed, Dave, but that was versus Houston. You just talked about how they are against lefties. Pretty good otherwise. Going up against Keuchel here, total of 9. You can find 8.5 out there. Another close to pick 'em price here, seeing Toronto about -110 road favorite. You liking anything here, Blue Jays and White Sox tonight, Dave?
Well, if you're going to mention that the Astros are good against lefties, you better not leave the White Sox out of the equation because they have been spectacular against lefties last season and this year. There's some red flags on Ryu. His velocity's down. I don't know if he's 100% healthy at this point, and he certainly didn't look at his last start. Look, Houston's offense is dynamite to be sure, but he got crushed in that game. So I don't know that he's already had a DL stint. Now, it wasn't for an arm issue, but something isn't right there. The flip side of it is Keuchel. The White Sox are doing him a lot of favors. He has really not pitched particularly good baseball, and yet they're 5-1 at home in his 6 starts in Chicago, 8-4 overall, and he's below average on game scores. 47 at home, 48 overall. Those aren't good numbers. I think with a questionable Ryu on the mound and Keuchel not exactly overwhelming the opposition, I think you might get some runs in this baseball game tonight. So I'll look at the over.
Yeah, I like that as well, Dave. Looking towards the over here, Marco. Keuchel, Dave kind of touched on it here, Marco. Sometimes I think, his career might be over, and then he throws a good outing. I really don't know how to handicap him, but either way, I see runs like Dave does. How do you feel tonight in the Windy City, Marco?
Yeah, you look at Keuchel, and although his last 3 games, the ERA is respectable at 3.60, the alarming stat is the WHIP. His WHIP is 1.53. he's been able to, I like to use the phrase, dance through the raindrops on the mound and get out of some jams. You got to figure that that's going to even itself out, especially against a team that can hit the baseball the way the Blue Jays can. But, the big thing here is, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The White Sox against left-handers, now, granted, it was 15-0 last year. It's 14-4 this year. So, they lost 4 times, but they still won 14 out of 18 against lefties this year. And the alarming part of it is, it's not like they're winning games 3-2 or 2-1. They're scoring runs. They're averaging 6.7 runs per game versus lefties. And going back to Dave and what he said about Ryu on the mound, I circled a thing for me that was a big concern. Obviously, when you see the velocity down, that's the big thing that jumps out. But when you have a pitcher that averages 6-7 strikeouts per game, and then he goes as deep as he did last time and only had 1 strikeout, that tells you he didn't have anything working for him in that game. So that's the bigger concern for me with him. So for me, it's, a lean to the White Sox in this game just because of the dominating stats, but I can't disagree. The way the White Sox hit lefties and the way Ryu pitched his last game, you got to expect to have runs here. And unless Keuchel finds one of those games where he pitches brilliant out of nowhere, the Toronto's going to get runs too. So White Sox and over, the only way to look at this game.
Yeah, Marco, it's almost surprising to not see, a double-digit total here because of the pitchers' issues. Both lineups, better lineups, especially against lefties on the White Sox. Does this number, like Dave talked about in the last game, seem a little bit trappy to you for some reason on the total?
With looking at the raw numbers, yes, it does. But what you got to factor in, Dave, is this is still a market that big name pitchers still, command, a lot of respect. And I don't think this matchup is going to get you that, 10 and a half that maybe should be on this game. And that's the reason. If there was one not a household name pitcher in this lineup, then yes, definitely I would say something smells fishy in Chicago. But that's, to me, I think that's the reason you're seeing the 9.
Sure. And guys, also, with the sticky substance issues here, maybe not looking towards the unders as much and looking towards the overs as well. So maybe something here on the south side tonight. But Marco, we got next game up. Talk about the New York Yankees and the Minnesota Twins here. Also 8:10 Eastern time slot. It's heating up in Minnesota. I'm seeing it near 90 degrees. Minus 130 for the New York Yankees, king on the hill. J.A. Happ still in the major leagues. Kind of surprised at that. Seeing a total of 11 here, Marco. Yankees and Twins, what are you liking tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, looking at the Yankees here, and I know Dave's, Red Sox fan, and that makes him an automatic Yankee, not a fan. Got to be careful. The Yankees bats seem to have woken up, and you look at them last 3 games, going furthest back, 5, 8, 9 in the last game. If they start hitting the baseball, this team, we know what they can do. And you look at the flip side of it, and you look at this Minnesota team, and, man, they've been a disappointment all year. We thought they would be down a notch this year. I didn't think they were going to drop as far as they've fallen so far. Maybe, they'll come back to a median level here somewhere. But I'm tired of waiting to see it. This team's just not playing good baseball. They're not getting good pitching. I can't step in front of them. But what I am going to do here, I'm going to look to the total because I don't see either pitcher dominating. You talked about Happ's problems. Michael King goes for the Yankees. And, in his first 2 starts, I try to find something nice to say. And the only really good thing I could say for him going into this one against Minnesota is Minnesota hasn't seen him yet. So maybe he gets through the lineup, once or twice. But I don't think he'll be in there that long to be on the mound for that much. But I do have a stat, guys. Minnesota, if we look at them this season, when they are playing a competitively priced game, and that's in between the 25s, minus 125 to plus 125, they're just 8-20 on the season. I can't back a team like that when you're getting, a soft number like we're getting here. But the other stat I'll give you is Minnesota, when they've been an underdog, and that's this season, 17 out of 21 of their games have gone over the total. So again, here, lean to the Yankees and a lean to the over in this one. I think you'll see some more runs with those Yankee bats continuing to do it. And the Yankees have always had Minnesota's number. That's, their Achilles heel, Minnesota.
Yeah, I like it, Marco. Looking towards the Yankees here, Dave. And Jay Happ, his numbers aren't good. ERA over 5 going up against the Yankees lineup that has woken up. What are you liking tonight, Dave?
Well, look, they priced the total too high for me to bet, but I mean, it sure looks like an over. The Yankees are swinging the bats a little bit right now. And we talked about this many times. Stanton is a real streaky guy when he's healthy. He can look absolutely awful where he'll swing at pitches in the dirt and just looks lost at the plate. And then he gets hot. And anything that's in his zone, it just leaves the park. Looks like he might be getting hot. I mean, he was swinging the bat real well yesterday. And Aaron Judge with him, I mean, that's a lethal duo against the lefty. So Happ could have his problems with this lineup. King has been strictly unimpressive for the Yankees. The end of their rotation is no good. And the Twins, look, they still hit the ball. I mean, the Twins' problems have been pitching this year. Their offense isn't bad. I think you get lots of runs here. They just priced me out of the game with the number being in the 11 range, but I can see this being a free-for-all.
Guys, shout out to the chat box here. We got Rara, we got Jessica, Abby in the house. Thanks for joining us live here. Johnny Outlaw as well. Ty, welcome in. Feel free to join us here each and every Monday through Friday, 1:45 Eastern time. Patrick as well. Let us know what you're betting. Throw out reasons why, any questions you have. And if you're watching on replay, that works too, guys. Feel free to leave a comment below on the YouTube channel. Marco, I'll tell you, one thing you've really been bringing today is the analogies. You had dancing through the rain. You had if it's not broken, don't fix it. The $2 million to $1 million. Love it. Try to get another one out of here as we got one game left. But Dave, next game up here, we'll head to the West Coast here. Kansas City Royals, Oakland A's. We got Frankie Montez going for the Athletics. Mike Minor, the lefty, going for the Royals. Royals have lost 5 straight here. This is a nightcap on the show and on the card here, Dave. 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 Pacific. Looks like 15-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to center. -145. That's what I'm seeing as the A's right now. Total of 8 in Oakland. Liking anything here in the nightcap, Dave?
Yeah, I started breaking this game down, and there are a few check marks coming up on the Royals side. Montes is a guy who I don't mind going against. He's very erratic. I mean, he can be terrific at times. He can absolutely be horrible at times as well. There doesn't seem to be a lot of in between. And he's having a typical Montes year where he'll look good one start, and then the next start he'll be terrible. Minor's actually been okay on the road. He has not pitched well at home for Kansas City, but on the road he's been pretty good, and they've won 4 of his 5 road starts. The one negative, however, it's really the last thing I check, but it's something I do want to check is how a pitcher's performed in the particular ballpark. Minor was with the A's for a little bit. He has not done well in this park. 1-5 with a 7.11 earned run average. Obviously, it's fairly small sample, but it ain't good. Let's put it that way. And the A's are 16-8 against lefties. So my initial lean was Royals, and that got me off that. I think maybe the total is a little more interesting, despite those numbers for Minor. He has pitched well on the road this year, and I think that's a bit of a plus for him going into this one. And he's got decent numbers away from home, despite the fact that his stuff doesn't look like it should fool anybody. Montes has a decent chance to pitch okay tonight because the Royals, who were tearing the cover off the ball last week at this time, they have gone into a collective slump. And when teams go into slumps, that's when you start looking to go against them or play unders. I think that I haven't played it. I'm still kind of considering it. I think the unders the way to look in this game. And I don't trust the Royals bullpen, so it'd be a first 5 if I do anything on the under 4, I believe it is, in the Royals and A's.
All right, David, another point there, maybe to stick to the first 5. Trevino, one of the better arms for the Athletics. He's pitched back-to-back days, so if he's available, in question. But Marco, what are you liking in the nightcap tonight?
Yeah, well, you look at this, and Kansas City is in total free fall right now. Not only have they lost 5 games in a row, the last 4 games they've been outscored 24-6. I mean, they have just been getting taken out behind the woodshed and getting a beating put on them. So there's another one of your references there,
I like
Drew.
it.
I had to get one in there for you. Oakland, on the other hand, this is a team that, if you look at them, they did it last year and they're doing it this year too. They do everything in streaks. They win in streaks. They lose in streaks. They're winning again right now. And with all that said, in the way Kansas City's playing, I expected to see this line, over 150 or higher. And when I saw the number, I had to go back and look and say, did I miss something here? Did I make a mistake when I wrote the number down? And, it seems low. So, Dave talked about a game earlier being a little trappy, maybe. This number looks trappy to me, to Kansas City. Now, with that said, I don't trust the Royals enough to take them here on the road. I am going to look at the total. And Frankie Montas, you want to talk about a guy that's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I've talked a couple times with one of the guys that does work with the A's. And they told me when this kid come up, this was a high prospect. They liked him a lot, and he's shown that brilliance at times. But, man, there are other times that he just looks god-awful bad. I'm hoping I get the good Frankie Montas tonight against the slumping Royals team. I like this one under 8, and I'll have a little more about it. I got a stat to go with it when we do best bets.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Abby in the chat box liking it as well. Really bringing the heat here, Marco. So, guys, check out Marco D'Angelo here at WagerTalk.com. He's got his 4% NBA game of the week going tonight on a 42-18 against the spread run in the NBA. So seeing it clearly here, Marco, in the NBA playoffs. Is that something in the past you've done better in the NBA playoffs, given effort, given whatever the reasons being, or why are you seeing it so clearly here in the association?
You know what? This year, coming in, I thought I didn't know what to expect with the difference in the way the schedule was this year, playing so many games and some of those back-to-backs against teams. But we found our way through. And then once we get to the playoffs, the beauty of the playoffs, Drew, is you don't have to sit there and wait for the lineups, because if they can walk, they're going to play. And that was so frustrating for so much of the NBA season this year. Is, I like to put games out overnight a lot of times where you can take advantage of a number. Problem was this season, if you're playing the NBA on a regular basis, you didn't have many lines overnight in the NBA, and that was very frustrating. But it's playoff time, it's money time, and we've been doing well. And baseball's been running good too. So knock on wood, let's keep it going here. I cooled off in hockey though. The playoffs not as kind to me as they were during the regular season.
Hey, well, cold on the ice, but hot in the association and on the diamond. Check them out. Marco D'Angelo is 4% or up. Hot right now, guys. 42-18 against the spread run in the NBA. Also, Dave Koken, number 1 at Wager Talk last season in MLB. Dave, I guess we could start off with best bets, man, and any kind of final thoughts for the show.
Our best bet is the Astros first 5, and I explained why earlier. So no need to go through that again. And for those who have just kind of clicked to the end of the show so they can get the best bets, you don't care about the analysis anyway. You just want the picks. So I'm not going to waste any time on that. I will mention I've got a free play up. You can check that out right now on my homepage, wt.buzz/DC. You can also see the video. That's at Twitter, at Dave Koken. And I think that's it. Astros first 5 is the best bet here on the show, and it is my best bet on the card today.
At Dave Koken on Twitter. Good follow there, guys. And also Marco D'Angelo on Twitter and his experts page, Wager Talk. We just talked about his play there. Marco, where are you going for best bets tonight, buddy?
Well, it's the last game we talked about, and that's the Oakland-Kansas City game. Given the fishy line there and seeing some money come in on Kansas City, I expect Minor to have a decent game tonight. And I've got a stat that supports him when he's an underdog. Over the last 3 seasons, as a road underdog, Mike Minor's games, 16 times this has come up. 14 of them, he's gone under the total. as a road underdog. And I went back and looked at what the average score was in those 16 games. How about just 6.1 runs per game? It gives us a little bit of wiggle room here tonight on the under in this one. I'll go ahead and take Oakland, Kansas City under the total tonight as my best bet.
All right, and I'll finish it off, guys. Going to the first game we talked about, Houston at Boston, Zach Greinke. Sometimes you talk about velocity decreases, and that's a real fade opportunity. But Zach Greinke's made a living out of this towards the end of his career here, not throwing with a lot of velocity. And sure enough, you look at his last 4 starts against the Oakland A's, San Diego Padres, LA Dodgers, and Toronto Blue Jays, 4 good lineups here. He's gone over 30 innings, only 7 earned runs, under 20 hits given up. So people just aren't getting on base very much against Zach Greinke. 8-2 their last 10, won 3 straight. Talking about the Astros here, going up against Boston. Eduardo Rodriguez, the starter for the Red Sox, just 2 starts ago, went against this Houston lineup, gave up 6 earned runs in 4 innings. It was May 31st, and it's just one of those things. The Houston lineup, a lot of people think, the Chicago White Sox against lefties. Well, actually, the Houston Astros this season are the number 1 hitting team against lefties. So the hottest lineup in baseball the last week, and they're seeing a lefty. I like the Astros at the plus price here, plus 100 for the full game. So recap here of the best bets. I'm on the Houston Astros plus 100. We get Marco D'Angelo on Royals Athletics under 8 in the nightcap. And Dave, going back to the Astros game, first 5 minus 105. So for Marco, Dave Koken, I am Drew Martin. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please smash that like button on your way out. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Best of luck with your bets until then.
Sign up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.